Good evening, everyone. How you doing today? This is Yusuf Chowdhury once again, tuning in from San Antonio, Texas. It is 5:59 p.m. Central Time. Give me a few seconds, please. Michelle, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Let's just wait for like a minute or less than a minute, then we'll start with this topic. Because yesterday we were talking about SEO, the selling enormous octopus, right? So let's go ahead and do a quick recap. So what did we talk about? Because there's so many things that we're gonna have to cover, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I can cover the other half today, but I'll do my best. Tawsif, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How you doing? I'm doing good, man. Thank you for asking. So what did we cover yesterday? What did we talk about? What did we talk about yesterday? I can't even talk, man. What did we talk about yesterday? So yesterday we talked about what is the definition of SEO from the Google's point of view, and also the industry point of view. Then we talked about the importance of having or utilizing the search engine. We talked about how does the Google bots, the crawler, the spider, or whatever you want to call it, what does it do, right? Its functionality. Then I believe we talked about on-page SEO and off-page SEO, and I showed you a sample of what some of the basic, not the whole, but some of the basic sample of what on-page SEO is, right? And also the offline SEO. So can anybody tell me the definition? Anybody? Can anybody tell me the definition? The definition. Okay, let me just go talk about it myself. So regarding the definition of the SEO according to Google, the purpose of the SEO according to Google is to basically make it easier, make what easier? Your website, make the website easier for the search engine to crawl, right? To crawl, to index, and to understand the content within your pages, right? So your ideal customer, audience, users, website visitors uh, can make their decision when they basically visit the site, right? To make it easier for the search engine to crawl, index, and understand your content, you should base your optimization decision first and foremost on what's best for your website visitor. Okay, so that is the definition of how Google wants to define, and the way we define it, the SEO industry, and that is a technical process, right? It is a technical process and a creative process for the purpose of influencing the visibility. Hey, Jack, what's going on? Hey, Wazifa, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. We're basically going quickly recapping what we talked about yesterday. So SEO is a technical, right? It's a technical and creative process, right? It's technical because a lot of things happens on the back end, and it's creative because we're talking about the front end, the visual, the copy, the messages, and whatnot. And the whole purpose of the technical and the visual or the creative process is to influence the visibility of your website in the search engine organic search result page. Sometimes we call it SERP, right? For the purpose of driving the targeted traffic, aka your customer, so they can convert into a buying customer. Okay, that's how we defined it when it comes to the SEO definition, and what's the definition for according to Google, right? We also talked about what does the Google the crawler, the spider, the bot, what does it do? It crawls the pages, it indexes the pages, it retrieves information when somebody searches for it, and it also helps with the ranking, right? And according to Google, I mean, they say there are more than 200 factors to, help you with ranking. And of course, every year they make a lot of adjustment and changes in the algorithm and whatnot. Okay. We also addressed and talked about the importance of using the SEO, and that is to boost the ranking of your website, to help your customers to basically find your services and your products, to also help you generate targeted leads to your website, and also to help you generate targeted traffic to your website. And of all these processes, one of the most important one is it will help you how to measure, right? It will help you how to measure your activities, like when you get the traffic, what it's coming from, how many minutes they're spending, how they're behaving, and so forth. And by the way, folks, if y'all enjoying this live streaming, do me a favor, go ahead and tag some of your cool friends, share this. I would highly appreciate it. Okay. Then after that, we talked about the difference between the on-page SEO and the off-page. The on-page, things that's done on the website itself, on the backend, and the off-page, a lot of processes and the tasks that is done outside the website. Okay, so on-page SEO, it's a one-time deal. Except when you put blogging material, you have to optimize it every time you post it. The off-page SEO, that's constant work on a monthly basis, right? It consists of everything from link analysis, removing toxic links, building your content distribution on another relevant websites or properties. So there's a whole different crazy task happens when you implement offsite SEO. And the offsite SEO also helps with getting the traffic because you're promoting your website and the ranking and so forth. So on-page SEO is not enough. Okay, you still have to do the on-page and also the off-page, because that's why sometimes we see some sites or some clients that come to our office is that, hey, I did the SEO for several years, but it's not working. When I look at the website and all I see is just on page, and there's no monthly plan, there's no monthly strategy. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday, and I showed you some of the sample how the coding area of the on page looks like and what is an off page, right? We talked about that. Then I wanted to cover today about the keyword research. So if you have a website and before you implement the on-page SEO on the website, you have to do the keyword research. And why do you have to do the keyword research? The reason you have to do the keyword research because you need to understand, okay? You need to understand what your ideal customers, your target customers, your actual customers, right? What are they searching when they go to Google? What are they typing? Just because you are a yoga instructor, that doesn't mean they're always going to type yoga. Make sense? So the reason you are doing the research because you're trying to understand, okay, what else they're searching? What are they typing, right? Then once I find these relevant keywords, okay, then what does Google show when searchers type those terminologies and the key phrases and the keywords? What shows up? What kind of website shows up? So I can understand better what kind of result Google decide to show up for anybody who type certain words. Make sense? But if you now go back again, to understand the definition of SEO, you will notice that there are certain rules that Google loves to, or Google wants you to basically implement, right? What they're looking for, beside all the elements of the on-page, of the off-page technique and whatnot, Google wants you to basically create some type of authority, right? You are the authority for your website. You are the authority. You are the expert person. And how can that happen? So there are many points. For example, based on the quality of the content, of course, based on the links the backlinks that you're getting, like from high quality backlinks, for example, or due to your social media presence, how what type of activities do you have, what kind of positive noise and conversations taking place about you or your product and services. Make sense? And with that authority that you're trying to build about your brand, about your business, about your website, comes what I call the relevancy, right? So that means the content and the quality of your brand or the technical on-page SEO has to be relevant to what your audience is looking for. Okay, so that means they're looking for a website that has an authority. They're looking for a website that has relevant information for the searcher. Okay, and in return, because of these two factors, right, this can help you to create some type of trust. So in order for your website has some sort of trust value, there has to be authority, relevancy, and trust. And how can we define the trust? By the high quality of the content, by the high quality links that's pointing back to your website. This is like well-known people in your community referring to you. So it's like a word of mouth, right? So they look at these sort of things. Okay. And the last one of their measurement as well is the user experience, right? Are the content sticking to your audience like a glue, right? Is it really something that they're enjoying it, they're benefiting from it, they're learning from it, they actually found what they're looking for? You know what I mean? So these are some of the ideas, because I know there are more than 200 so-called factors that can help you with, ranking and getting the traffic and so forth. And of course, they're not telling us all those 200 plus factors, but based on looking at our experiences over the years, or if you look at other well-known authority sites in the niche of SEO, they can also give you a lot of case studies and information to prove some of these techniques. Okay, so based on understanding the concept of, and this is very important. The reason I'm repeating this, because this is one of the most common misconceptions when people talk about SEO, that they think SEO is just about sprinkling a bunch of keyword on the website and that's it. Well, that's not it. There's so much work involved behind it, right? That's why I find it fascinating for some of these so-called wannabe gurus or gurus who come and sell so-called crazy courses to help you build a business and build a landing page, and within a week and the next week you're going to start making money. I don't know how does that work, because in reality, in terms of functionality and the nature of the internet and the site itself, that's not very possible when you do things organically. Now, if they teach you how to do ads, then that's a whole different story. Okay, so by understanding the definition, and by the way, if you'll have any question, feel free to jump in and ask your questions. So by understanding, or by trying to understanding the nature and the definition of SEO and the four elements that I talked about, authority, relevancy, trust, and user experience, you will notice that based on this concept, they're looking for somebody that on your website you have some sort of good, type of behavior of your visitor. They want to see how does the visitor behave when they visit the website. Are they spending too much time? Are they leaving quickly? Are they going through the buyer's journey, right? How many links are pointing it back to your website, for example, right? Are the links trustworthy links? Do you have social media presence? Are there any kind of mention about you or your business in the social media sphere, right? Or sites? How relevant are those pages? Are every single page that you created, is it relevant to the information that the customer is looking for? How old is your website? Is it brand new? Is it been there for like 10, 20 years, right? Is your website super fast from the front end and also from the back end, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So they look at this sort of thing. If you install, for example, Google Analytics, Google Analytics will basically give you more information about, if somebody opened the browser and typed your brand name or the domain name directly to the browser, right? It will give you some information in terms of how many people actually clicked on the site, How many? What's the time limit? What's an average time they spend on the website? What is the bounce rate? Bounce rate means they came and they left quick. What's the percentage? Is it too high? Is it too low? Right? What kind of quality with the backlinks pointing it back to your website? Do you have the HTTPS on your domain? Are your content relevant to what it's talking about? Do you see what I'm saying? Chris Cano, Yusufied. Yes, sir. You've been Yusufied and you did not know. Okay. So number of images, are these images, is the file size of the images are less than 1 megabyte? Does it have an alternative text for people with disability? Make sense? So these are some of the elements that Google themselves look for. But even though there are 200 factors that we need to take them into consideration, even though we don't know most of it, but we know what we applied that worked for us, right? So now understanding the SEO, understanding the definition, understanding the nature of it and the difference between the on-page SEO and the off-page SEO, we showed you that, and the importance of why we need to have it. Now, the first thing you have to do is before getting into the SEO, and that is called keyword research. And why do we do keyword research? So we can understand what our customers are searching for. Because understanding the behaviors and the needs and the wants of our target audience will help us to provide the stuff that they need. Okay? There's no dramatical sound here. It's all like silence. So when it comes to keyword, my question to you guys, like, what is a keyword? Like, you know what I mean? What is a keyword? If I tell you what is a keyword, can somebody tell me what the heck is a keyword? Can somebody tell me that? What is a keyword? Keyword. What is a keyword? Keyword. Anybody? Can anybody tell me what is a keyword? What is a keyword? I'm gonna wait for like a few seconds to see if anybody can tell me what is a keyword. So basically, keyword is any phrase or terminologies that you want your website to rank for. Okay, it can be a single word or a combination, like, you know, how to look for the best real estate agent, or real estate agent near me, or a yoga instructor near me. Let's see, which best keywords research tool? Something that matches the search criteria. Muhammad, yes, absolutely. The tool, I'm going to talk about the tool in a few seconds. A word which people are searching on Google. Excellent. Love the interaction. Thank you. So yes, when it comes to the tools, the first one, which is free, if you have a Gmail account, you do have access to this, and that is called Google AdWords. Even though you have to be a little bit careful, because the objective of Google AdWords is not for SEO. It's mainly for the Google ads. But it is still good to know what kind of information people search for those ads to show up, right? So if you have a Gmail account, you can definitely go to google.com/AdWords. If you are going to use the Google AdWords for the first time, just make sure that when you log in to set up the account, click the guide, or click the next step guide or something like that. Just skip it, because if you don't, Google will force you to basically start implementing the ads, okay? Once you log into the AdWords dashboard, go to the tools, and after that, look for Planner, Google Keyword Planner. And from there, you can select your city and tap the keyword. Then Google will give you a variation of the most popular search terms within 12 months. And once you see those keywords, then you can look at the relevancy first to see which key phrases are relevant to what you do. Then after that, look at the volume, not the other way around. Some people look at the volume, but they don't look at the relevancy. And you can download it to your Excel sheet, or you can also click on each keyword, because it will take you back to the Google's page, and you can see exactly what kind of website shows up. If these websites are similar to what I do, good, I can use that. Are these websites something like I provide in terms of services? Good, I can select it, right? So that's the first one. You can definitely use that. Now, yesterday I think I also talked about how to do a simple keyword research. There are many ways. I mean, I typically use premium services like, SEMrush, Ahref, SpyFu, Keyword Spy. There are tons of paid versions that we use it in our company. But if you're under a budget and you don't have enough money to do that, you can still use the free versions like the Google AdWords, right? Another one. Let me go ahead and open, let me see if I can show you guys a couple of samples of what other tools you can use when it comes to Google. When it comes to keyword research, give me a few minutes. What else I can think of? Let me get you guys some free stuff. Free stuff. Not this one. There's another called the Souffle. Souffle. Let me show you guys. See if I can pull it up. Some of the free one here. Okay, let me show you guys. So these are the free one, and I'm going to share with you guys a premium version of it. The premium are very good because they have a team, a support company, and their software. It's highly sophisticated. It can give me, better result than the free tools. Keywords everywhere, perhaps. Yes, that's one of them. Good job. Let me show you right now. Let me go ahead and what do you call it? To share the screen. Okay, so keywords everywhere. It's a Chrome extension and it's a Firefox extension. You can utilize this one. So what happens basically when you search anything on Google on the sidebar, it gives you more variation in one click. So you can download all the keywords in an Excel sheet. Okay, so you can try this one. It's super, as you can see how it is attached to the Google search itself. It makes it much easier to basically extract and download all the keywords that you want. Okay. So this is free. So you can check it out. Okay. My second favorite, it's answer the public. I mean, the cool thing about the answer the public, if I type the word, let's say yoga right now, do a search, but the answer the public is not free. The first time you try it, it's free, and if you try to search it again, within like a few minutes or 20 or 30 minutes, it's gonna basically get you blocked, but you can try again after 24 hours. So instead of searching many times, make sure the first search that you do, just download all those questions on an Excel sheet, okay? So this one is still thinking. All right. This one is still thinking. I guess I'm gonna have to wait on those. Oh, there you go. Look at this one. Look at this amazing stuff here. Isn't this super amazing? Like how to base questions, what, when, why, which, where, will, can, and there's more. Okay. This is really good to understand these popular questions that your audience are asking. And this is very good if you want to write content, do live streaming or YouTube videos or podcasts, because all these questions are super valuable. So for example, how yoga works, when I click on it, it will take me to Google and it will show me what kind of results showed up, some e-commerce, Amazon, books, articles. So this one is more article based. I don't see an actual clinic or a gym. So I can use this. Here we go, yoga works. So I can use this in my blog post. So you have to understand and study these questions. What does it do? Okay. So that's answer the public. Here's another basic tool. It's called a Souffle. I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. I'm like a Souffle. I don't know. Oui, Souffle. I don't know what kind of language is that. I'm just making fun of it. But anyway, so this one here, I'm going to type one word, and voila. It will basically show me what the top 10 keywords within Google, within Wikipedia, Answers.com, YouTube, Bing, Yahoo, and Amazon search. So this will give you some basic idea as well what's popular. So this is pretty cool. Okay. Any question about keyword? Let's talk about keyword more to understand how the search is not necessarily complicated, but you have to understand the concept of keyword, like how does it work, right? The concept of keyword. So let me explain that to you. When it comes to the keyword, can you show us how to get to Google Planner and bypass the Google Ads? Unfortunately, I have to sign up as a new person, so I don't have a new account. Maybe I'll create a new account uh, if you want next week on Monday. If you want, I can just make a new account, then show you quickly on Monday how to do that. Okay. Can you share that last website here? Yes. I mean, in the comment section, the souffle, Soovle, SOOVLE.com, SOOVLE.com. Souvle. I don't know if it's called Souvle. I don't know. It's like maybe Souvle. I don't know. Look, but let me see if I can put on the comment section. Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, there you go. So let's talk about, to give an idea, because even in the keyword research, there are types of keyword research that you have to understand. One of the most interesting thing about keyword research is for you to figure out what is the intent of the searcher. Okay, what is the intent of the searcher? So, for example, when we talk about relevant keywords, if I say buy soccer shoes or football, we call football worldwide, but here they call it soccer. So soccer shoes, right? If I'm typing buy soccer shoes, that my intent is for me to buy a soccer shoe. Now, that can be done by going to a store or buying online. Okay, there's a two possibilities. Now, if I type buy soccer shoes online, so there's one intent, and that is to buy the soccer from online store, whether it's like the Adidas.com or Amazon or any shopping online website. If I type online soccer shoes store USA, that means I want to buy online, but it's going to be US based company online. You see the intent, and there is a transactional intent. Because when you do the keyword research, if you go to Google Keyword Planner, for example, and type the word yoga, you will get a variation. You cannot just say the word shoes. You can say sports shoes or running shoes, and you will get a variation of these terminologies. So you have to look at the relevancy, then look at the transactional keyword, because you can use that for optimizing pages within your website. Okay, so these are what I mean by relevant. It's relevant to the content. It's relevant to the intent of your target audience. It's relevant to what you're providing. Okay. Now, if I give you another example for the same shoe example, let me think of irrelevant keyword. So, for example, if you go with soccer shoe photos, so the intent possibly for somebody just to download a picture of a soccer shoe, that doesn't mean they're gonna buy it. Does that make sense? I mean, again, we're not denying that they might not. Maybe somebody's going to see how it looks first, then to buy it later. But the majority of the intention to see from this key phrase, soccer shoe photos, that means I just want to look for the photos. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. So that's why it's very important to pick the right keyword, because what's going to happen if you are optimizing for key phrases that is not relevant, or that is something that your audience not looking into it, then you're going to waste all these several months of work for nothing. So as soon the customer jumps to the site and goes to the pages, but it's not what they're looking for, you're going to lose all this traffic, and you're going to have a high bounce rate. Okay? So understand that. So the other thing, when it comes to the types of keyword beside what I told you right now, there's something called short tail, or basically like a general keyword, like shoes, soccer shoes, women's shoes. These are too general. The one that you're going to look for has to be, well, what I recommend, transactional keyword, question-based key phrases, or long tail. Long tail basically means the keyword itself is like 3 to 4 words, not more than 4 in some cases, and not less than 2, okay, or 3. So, for example, when I say long tail, let me think. Long tail, like affordable women's shoe online. Okay, it's like a 3 to 4 words. Okay, instead of just women's shoe. Conversational, for example, what are the best affordable women's shoes online? That's conversational. Informational, even though it's not transactional, but it can be very good for content. For example, landscape photography tips, okay, or landscaping photography. So these information more, these keyword more like information based, what I can learn or write a blog, versus buy textbook online or buy high school textbooks from a store or near me, for example. Okay, so that's what I mean by the types of what you call it, keyword. Okay, it's very, very important. So once you understand types of keyword, the intent of the keyword, right, then you have to use the tool. So I mentioned the free one a few minutes ago. If you do want to invest in something super amazing, then I recommend that you can invest a one-time fee with a company called Market Samurai. You know, like the Japanese samurai. It's called Mark. Just Google Market Samurai. I believe the domain address is noblesamurai.com. The thing with the Market Samurai, it is attached to the Google's database. Okay, and it's an application. It's a software. You download it, and you're only gonna pay $99 for the lifetime, versus SEMrush and Ahrefs, Keyword Spy and Spyful. All those services cost anywhere between 75 to like $200 a month. Okay, but with the free one, you can try the Google search engine itself. You can try the Google AdWord, Google Keyword Planner, and of course the one that I mentioned to you, Keyword Everywhere, Souffle, and Answer the Public. Okay, so you can understand what my audience are basically searching. Okay, it is 6:31 p.m. Central Time, folks. Okay, so that the keyword part. Okay, so that is the keyword part. Now, so now you did the keyword research and you picked the most relevant one. Here's my question for you guys. Let's say you did the keyword research and you found, let's say, 100 keywords that is super relevant to what you do, but you only have 5 pages on your website. So what are you going to do in this situation? If you have 5 pages on your website, but you found like 100 key phrases, terminologies, and sentences and words that is super relevant to what you do and provide, right? So what are you going to do in this situation? Can somebody tell me what are you going to do? When you search on Google, a list drops down. You can use those words or phrases as well. Absolutely. This is called the autocomplete. If you go to Google, just type yoga and you're gonna get a drop. That's called autocomplete. You can use that. You can also look into people also ask. You can also scroll all the way down and look for other searches relevant. Yeah, of course you can do that because that's super free. It doesn't cost you nothing. That's like doing something very, 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 very basic, right? But the best result, in our experience, is using premium, tools, services. Okay, but these one, it will still help a little bit because it will give an idea what your customer are searching when they go to Google. So it is still helpful. Okay, because with the keyword, you don't want to think like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna open this one page to sell my awesome blue jeans, and everything on this page under 300 words, I'm gonna talk about blue jeans, right? For example, I am the blue jeans master. What I sell blue jeans to the blue jeans fans. For those that want the blue jeans, come buy the blue jeans from the blue jeans only store, right? You can't do that. That is called keyword stuffing. Doesn't sound natural. And even though the bot is software like a robotic, whatever you call it, but now the algorithm with the artificial intelligence, the AI or the rank brain AI, it tries to understand what you're trying to say. In fact, the last update that they did, not the one after Bird, but before the Bird is another one called algorithm Bird, like Ernie Bird from Sesame Street. So this update, basically what it did, it allows for somebody who's typing a keyword. For example, let's say if I'm in Brazil or if I'm in Spain and I'm typing, traveling to USA, need visa. The fact that I'm searching from Spain and I'm looking for visa, now Google will show me the best result. It will take me directly to the US Embassy and exactly to the page that talks about visa for people from Spain. It's so crazy and awesome from a marketing point of view. This is amazing. From a customer point of view, this is also good because they're getting the best result. Make sense? So the algorithm tries to understand based on the synonymous and other words. You don't have to always use the same exact word million times on the page. You don't want to do that. You can have a variation, even though you want to focus on one. So, for example, one of the student that I was helping, this individual into the mindset coach business, right? So the variety of the other key phrases that she can use, like, mindset growth coach, mindset growth technique, mindset coach. So there is some sort of variation, even though they're close to each other. Make sense? Okay. So once, as I mentioned, you collected 100 keywords, but you only have 5 pages. What are you going to do? Let me see if y'all are smart. What y'all can do right now? You have 100 keywords that you collected. They're all relevant, but you only have 5 pages. What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? Tell me now. Tell me now. What are you going to do? You have 5 pages on the website, like home, about, services, blog, and contact us. But you collected 100. Off of the 800, off of 1,000 keyword, you collected 100 because they're all relevant. Hey, Adam, what's going on? Thank you for liking my video. Appreciate it, brother. And thank you for sharing. You're awesome. Think about it, guys. You have 5 pages, but you got 100 keywords. They're all relevant. What should I do? Thank you for tagging, Adam, my man. Thank you. Does anybody know? Take a guess. Take a guess. Take a guess. What are you going to do? Remember, in the beginning, we talked about what Google wants, right? We talked about your customer, your ideal audience. We talked about traffic. We talked about relevancy, authority, trust, and user experience, right? Can anybody tell me what should I do? Think about it. Think about it. Don't worry, man or lady. There's no right and wrong right now when you answer, even though there might be. But go ahead and do it, right? Don't worry, nobody's going to make fun of you. Nobody knows the answer? I mean, you can Google it. So the thing is, if I have 5 pages and I collected 100 keywords, the first thing I'm going to do, I have to make sure that every single page, the keyword that I'm going to use is going to be super relevant to that. So let's say, for example, if I take the example of the yoga instructor. So on the home page, if I'm talking about, I only do Ashtanga yoga, right? So my optimization on that page is going to be Ashtanga yoga in San Antonio, for example, right? Under the services, if I sell yoga pants, I'm going to use the keyword yoga pants because that page talks about yoga pants. Handmade and super powerful. Okay. Antivirus. So, okay. Does that make sense? So you have 5 pages, you have 100 keywords. So what you do, you look for the most relevant key phrases within those 5 pages. If that's the case, then what is going to happen to the 95 keywords that I collected? What I'm going to do with them? Sprinkle them in the garden? What I'm going to do with those 95 keywords? Because I have 5 pages of the website. Does anybody know? What should I do? Does anybody know? Anybody? Well, the answer is you can utilize the remaining keywords, not dropping it on the stucking it on the pages and hiding on the background. No, you can use the remaining keywords to write blog posts, articles, social media posts, YouTube videos. So you can put them somewhere else. You can write content on LinkedIn. You can write content as an article on high authority site, and you can use some of those phrases to point it back to your site. See? Why? Because the idea of these key phrases, I want my customer to basically type these terminologies and end up finding me. So I want to get as many eyeballs as I want to sell my product and service. Make sense? Does that make sense, folks? I mean, come on. Okay? So, any questions so far about keyword research and the keyword tools? No questions? Got it. Now, when it comes to the keyword distribution, you can add these terminologies on the do you remember yesterday we talked about the title tag and the meta tag? You can add it on the content itself on the static pages and the blog post. You can also use it for, even though that doesn't help with the SEO, and that is on the images and the files and whatnot. When it comes to video files or audio files, I don't recommend uploading those files on your website directly. I recommend that you upload the video on YouTube or the file audio files on iTunes or SoundCloud, then embed them to your website because you don't want to slow down the site, right? When it comes to the images, make sure the image files, for the love of God, they're less than 1 megabyte, okay? Less than 1 megabyte or less, because the bigger the size, the slower the website gonna become. So the images should be less than 1 megabyte, 72 dpi, okay? And once you, let's say if there's a picture of an elephant, even though I'm going to call it elephant.jpg, it doesn't have any SEO factor. But when you upload it, you have to make sure that you add something called alternative text, alt tag. This is for people with disability. Okay. So, any questions about keyword, how to do keyword research, the intent of the searcher? Okay, does anybody have any more questions? Because we talked about yesterday the definition of SEO. We talked about the importance of why SEO is essential. Oh, essential. Why SEO is essential, and the difference between the on-page SEO and the off-page SEO. We talked about today about some of the elements, some of the factors that Google look for. We talked about the keyword. The first thing you start with SEO is the keyword research, because you need to understand the intent of your searcher, your customers, right? We talked about some of the tools. Okay. What's next? The next thing is you have to make sure that Michelle said yes. You have to make sure that your website has these two awesome services: the Google Analytics and the Google Search Console. I cannot emphasize so much. Emphasize? Did I say emphasize? Emphasize so much that this is very, very important to have Google Analytics and the Search Console configured to your website. Why? Because the Google Analytics will tell me, it will give me some data. It will tell me like where the visitors are coming from, how many minutes they're spending, which mobile devices, which browsers, which of the pages are popular, what's the percentage of the visits, which location they're coming from, because this information will help me if I'm marketing to a certain area and I can see all the traffic coming from that area. Great, it's working, right? Which social media channels are bringing me the traffic? So it's very, very important to have that, the Google Analytics. The Google Search Console used to be called Google Webmaster Tool. This is more for like on-page SEO stuff, okay? So you definitely need those two. So you would use the 95 keyword, go to LinkedIn, Twitter, not on WordPress site? Excellent question. No, not necessarily. You can take the 95 keywords, right, and write content within 95, but you're not going to write content just because of the keyword. The keyword give an idea what other terms your audience is searching, so it will help you to write some content. When you write the content, remember, the mistake that most people do, that when they write content, they write the content for the keyword or the SEO. It's a big mistake. You write the content for your audience, like naturally, right? You write the content naturally for your audience with all the information that you have, with everything that you know, right? That answers all the pains and the issues and challenges your customer go through. You write it for them. Then you look at the list of keyword and see if you can sprinkle some of it. Like if it's something I missed, maybe I did talk about this, but I didn't word it this way. Let me add it here and there. Make sense? But that's what you're going to utilize the keyword for, because with the Google's algorithm update, you don't have to be only that keyword. Make sense? It's like a variation of different key phrases that you can put on the content. So you can use all of it for your blog post. You can also use it for guest posting somewhere else, right? You can also use it as a hashtag on the social channels. So you can redistribute it everywhere. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, okay? But understand that even when you write a high quality content, we have to talk about the content. So this is where you have to do the research, right? I mean, first, you know your business, you know your product, you know what's good for your customer, but you also have to do some research to find out what my customer are asking. That's why I highly recommend using Answer the Public, because those results will show you the popular questions that your target audience are asking and what type of results are shown on Google. So I can write something either similar, or I can use those information and share them on my social channels. Make sense? And if the results that show up are similar to what I provide, then that's good. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to do a little bit of research what your customer want and need, and write the content that is going to be super valuable and awesome to your audience. Okay, there are some sites out there that all they do just write super awesome content, and because the content is so good, it basically generates a natural backlink automatically, or because the audience are loving it, I'm loving it, right? And they're sharing it everywhere. Make sense? So that's why it's very important that your information that you're sharing for your customer has to be based on the research that you're doing, or based on what you already know what's good for them, right? So do the research, then write the material, then go back and try to optimize certain things. Because sometimes if certain paragraph, I cannot put this word in a certain paragraph, then I'm not going to put it. For example, yoga near me. How would I put a content about yoga near me, right? Do you see what I'm saying? You can have a title that says yoga near me, unless there's a twist behind it, or very creatively how you put it. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to write the content for your audience, because they are a human being. So write it for the human being first. Then after that, go back and start. Maybe if you want to sprinkle here and there, then you have the option to do that. Make sense? Okay. So we defined the SEO. We talked about the importance of the SEO. SEO is essential, right? We talked about on-page SEO, right? And the off-page. Then we talked about the keyword research, the intent of the searcher, the tools you're going to use, and why Google Analytics or any type of tracking tool is very, very important. See, the beautiful thing about search engine, because it will help you to collect data, right? Your marketing effort should not be based on feelings, okay? Because feelings don't change mind. Fact does. All right, that's true. Seriously, somebody said in a event I attended a couple of years ago that facts don't change hearts, feeling do. Huh. That kind of was like weird to me. I told the person, I don't know about that. I think feelings don't change mind, but facts do. Anyway, so you have to look at the data, because the data is the information that you're collecting about your data is helping you to understand what's happening. So that's why it's very important to look at these numbers. And any strategy you make, whether in redesigning the website or putting the copy or the text and content and optimizing the website, has to be based on these sort of information, because all this data, even though they're super valuable, essential, and important, that doesn't mean they're 100% accurate either. I would say maybe like 70%, 80%, close to that level of accuracy, right? So you still have to utilize it, because you are not running business based on feelings and wishes. You're doing things based on numbers, based on facts, based on a data that you can fall back to start marketing. Make sense? That's why I love this thing called data. It's very, very important. Okay? So when we talked about the on-page, yesterday we talked about the on-page. The on-page consists of page titles, title tag, meta tag, some scripts, some languages, different technical things like the schema tag and the microformat. Some of them something that you can do by yourself. Some of them your developer or SEO developer need to implement it. Okay, because the whole purpose of the on-page SEO, right? The whole purpose of it itself is like a process that basically tries to help you to make or to ensure that your site is easily readable, not just for the human being, but also for the search engine itself, right? Because if you do want the search engine to read everything on the back end, whether script or typical language text, right? You have to make sure that the back end, that the on-page SEO is properly implemented in the back end, because you want the bot or the spider to read everything properly, quickly, nicely, easily, and index them on the server, and also bring the human being to find this information. So that's why you have to make sure that the content on your website is visible to the search engine, right? And you have to make sure that the contents are not getting blocked, right? And the search engine can basically pick up valuable words from your content, because those are some of the information that your audience are looking for, right? And having, especially the user experience, I'm noticing, like, I don't know why a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but in my experience over the years, I mean, learning and seeing what other people talk in the industry, right? Not all of them, some of them. I haven't seen them put heavy emphasis on the user experience. For a website visitor to come to your website and navigate easily and find what they want and is fast, that actually it's part of the SEO factor. Why? Because they're going to stay on the website, they're going to start sharing it, they're going to tell others. Versus if your website has like a bunch of ads everywhere and the font is so small that you need a telescope or microscope, right? And the colors are like, super gray, light. I don't know why. A bunch of grumpy cat images and jumping worms and whatnot, and pop up everywhere every few seconds, right? That's bad user experience, right? And not just that, even the links. You know how sometimes you see this website with the link, and when you click on the about page, it's super long with numbers and dates, and it's all like jumbled, right? That all matter. Do you see what I'm saying? That all matter. Okay. Any questions so far? It is 6:50. See, I told you guys we wouldn't be able to finish. So that's a good thing because I can come back Monday and continue. And if you'll have any question about SEO, do let me know because I need to help Wazifa with show her how to use Yoast. There's another plugin called Rank Math, which is super free. You can also look into that. It's the same thing, but I'm going to show her how to use Yoast. Matthew, what's going on, my man? There you go. Virtual high five. So again, let's talk about. I'm recapping about the keyword. When we talk about the keyword today, we talked about. Don't worry, nobody's here. Okay, so when I talk about the keyword, we talked about the keyword searches intent. We talked about types of keyword, like transactional, question-based, long-tail keywords, informational keywords. Do you get a chance to read my email? Did you send me email? I apologize. I don't know if you sent me an email. I don't know if I got it. My email is yusufchowdhury@gmail.com. Or you can just send it to my DM. Sorry, man. I didn't. I don't know when did you send it. I didn't see it. So okay, we talked about heat map in user experience is important for SEO as well. Yes, absolutely, Tosi, because the heat map shows you the popular, clicks. So this can help you when it comes to design. So if you want to update or change it, look at the heat map. In fact, there is this awesome tool called the Hotjar, and Crazy Egg or Lucky Orange. The cool thing about the Hotjar, what it does, it actually records the mouse movement on the website for mobile devices and laptop or desktop. So this is very cool if you have like a landing page and whatnot. So yeah, data. Focus on the data to help you of how you can go back and make some adjustment. Okay. So I think Google Analytics has a small feature on heat map. In fact, you can also put a Google Analytics Chrome extension. You can add Google Analytics Chrome extension to help you basically look at the analytics from the browser itself. If you have the extension on, when you click on it, the extension will pop like a long box, below the URL box, right? It opens up, then it will show you the total traffic, the percentage of every single page, what's the percentage of hits. You can see that all from the browser. So make sure you check Google Analytics Chrome extension. I sent it last Friday to your Gmail. No rush. Just recapping on last weekend question I had. Okay. It's okay. Send me your email again on the DM, please. I'm gonna check it tonight. Okay. Okay, folks. It is 6:53 p.m. Any more questions about the keyword? So for keyword, again, I'm repeating this just for repetition is good. We talked about how to do keyword research. Look at the intent of the keyword. Types of keyword, general, long tail, question based, transactionals, informational. We talked about when you do the research, there are certain tools, free one. We mentioned Keyword Everywhere, Google, Answer the Public, Souffle, right? And if you generated 100 relevant key phrases, what are you going to do if you have 5 pages? And with the rest of them, Then when it comes to the keyword distribution, we talked about putting the keyword on the content itself. You can put the keyword on the title tag, the page titles, on the meta tag description, even though there is no ranking value on the meta tag description, but it's still good to have it there because it's psychology. When the target audience see the keyword on the title tag and again on the description, that can also help with click through rate. Anchor text. What is an anchor text? Anchor text basically is like hyperlinked word. I'm sorry, hyperlinked keyword. So somebody reading an about section of your website, and they're reading and they're reading and they're reading, and there is an option that says for more information, click contact. When people click contact, it will take me to the contact page. That's what anchor text is. Okay. Zif, how many keywords or phrases can you use on a page maximum? That's a good question. That's an excellent question because you don't want to fall into the trap of keyword density. Because if you overdo it, that is considered keyword stuffing, and that can get you in trouble, right? So I would say if you have 300 words, right, within the 300 words, maybe you can mention 3 times or 2 times, okay? Like one, two, three. Three is maximum. So basically, for every 100 words, you can mention it once, right? So, but make sure that when you write the content first, write it for a human being because the search engine will understand it. Of course, even if you mention once and twice, is better than not mentioning it at all, right? If I'm going to talk about a cupcake but never talk about the cupcake, then how Google's going to figure out if this content is about cupcake? So at least the least you can do, mention it once or twice. So within the 300 bracket, I would say once or twice should be more than enough. Three is too much. Okay, that was an excellent question. Um, so having the keyword through the hyperlink words or anchor text in the headings or the header. Sometimes if there's an important keyword or within the content that you want to make it bold, you can do that. You can put on the content. You can put it on the internal links. You can put them under the alternative text or alt tag. Even if you put on the images, it doesn't matter because no, there's I haven't seen a proof that having keyword on the images matter. I don't think it does, right? So these are the places where you're going to have the distribution of these key terminologies. But try to understand, keyword is not the only thing when it comes to SEO, please, because this is a very common thing that most people say, keyword, keyword, throw the keyword and it'll be fine. It doesn't work like that. You got to focus on your audience, what information they want, write an excellent copy for them, and naturally, everything else will take its course. Okay? It is 6:57 p.m. Central Time. I got a few minutes. Okay, we'll continue this discussion about SEO for sure on Monday. So make sure to have your questions ready. I do have to show Wazifa again how to use the Yoast and how to sign up with Google Analytics as a new user. So I can show you what step you need to avoid. Otherwise, you're going to be forced to go through the ad settings. You know what I mean? So this subject, as I mentioned, the SEO is a huge subject. When I give local workshop, I usually do it for 2 days. From 9 to 3. Sometimes I did it from 9 to 4 for 2 days. There's a lot of stuff, even though I'm discussing and sharing basic information, but I have a feeling that we do have to continue several days until we complete it, unless if nobody else has any different questions. So this was part 2. So on part 3, we're going to continue next week. Okay, so you all have an awesome weekend. Stay positive. Use this time to spend an awesome and quality time with your family, but also use this time to build something. Take this opportunity to build something, whether it's going to write a book or fix your website, learn something new, learn a new skill. The resources are endless. Okay, so go ahead and do that. All right, folks. Any more question about SEO and keywords for today? Any more question about that? Let's see. Mark, thank you for liking the video. I appreciate it. Tawsif, thank you for sharing the video. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those who came late, and if you're watching this video as a replay, please tap the word replay so I would know. Okay. Okay. All right, looks like there's no more questions. You're most welcome, Wazifa. You're most welcome. Sometimes it's good to kind of focus on the basic and learn step by step, and whatever you learn, try to implement it because the SEO is one of my favorite subjects and topic that I actually one of the things that I love within digital marketing is the SEO. Okay. Then after that, of course, the online ads and content and copy and social, everything. Tausif, thank you so much. And don't forget, please share this. Share this so your business colleagues can benefit. Okay, share this knowledge so other people can benefit. All right, 6:59 p.m. 6:59 p.m. Next week we're gonna do a quick recap like today, and we're gonna talk about some again on the on page. We're gonna repeat the on page, but with more detail. Then after that, hopefully we can cover the off-page SEO, or maybe we can also cover some of the tools out there, even the premium tools. All right, folks. Thank you so much. You all have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye for now.